Okay, so this will be week 5, Tuesday. On Monday, Rob averaged 3.75 laps per minute. On Tuesday, he averaged 3 4/5 laps per minute. On which day did Rob run faster? Explain. Now, I'm actually going to do this super fast. So what you would need to do is actually put these in the same format. So one's a decimal, one's a fraction. I want you guys to know that 4/5, this should be one that you have memorized, that 4/5 is going to be 0.8 or 0.80. Either one's fine. So we're going to be comparing 3.75 and 380. Okay, this 3.75 I don't need to do anything with again. 4/5, you can do the division to get that out, but again, that's one I want you to have to memorized. I know 380 is greater than 3.75, so on Tuesday, that is going to be his faster day. And again, explain. Many of you are skipping over, you're just giving me this. You're leaving out the explanation. Please make sure that you're including that piece, because writing is showing, when you're able to write about it, it's showing a greater understanding of the content. Okay, first thing I need to do, I have a division of fractions. I know I'm going to use keep, change, flip, but before I can do that, I need to convert this guy right here into an improper fraction. So I'm going to use reverse C, where I multiply 4 times -3 and then add 3. 4 times -3 is -12, plus 3 is -15/4. We're going to divide by 1/3. Now I can do my keep, change, flip, so that I can convert that over to a multiplication problem. I'm going to keep the first, change the sign from division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction. This is going to give me a value of -45/4. Okay, again with multiplication, I just multiply across, no need for a common denominator. One negative, one positive is going to equal a negative. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and put this in a different format, I could change this to a -11 1/4, or 11.25, -11.25. Those are all satisfactory and correct answers. Next, we're moving on to this guy. It's just a simple multiplication problem. Again, I'm going to write them out like this so it's a little bit easier for me to see. Okay, I'm just going to multiply across. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. I have a negative and a negative, so that's going to equal a positive. Anytime I multiply or divide two negatives, it's going to equal a positive. I need to simplify 2/8 to 1/3. Excuse me, 2/6 to 1/3. All right, last problem. Maria's favorite candy bar has 230 calories. The nutrition label states that 7/8 of the calories come from fat. How many calories in the candy bar come from fat? So 7/8 of, 7/8 of, 7/8 of, let me know. I need to multiply 230 times 7/8. 230 is not a fraction, but real easy to make a whole number into a fraction. Just place it over 1. I could cross cancel here, because these are both even numbers, so I know that I can divide both by 2. I'm just going to multiply across, and when I do that, I'm going to get a value of 1610, okay, over 8. Now, in order to, I could simplify this and leave it an improper fraction, but I'm actually going to, because this doesn't really make sense to have calories written like this, so I'm actually going to divide this out. Okay, remember the 610 is going to go inside the house because it's on top. Goes inside the house, falls off. And the 8 goes in the outside. 8 goes into 16 twice. Now, this is a really common thing I see a lot of folks. They see the 1 and they drop the 0. But because before they can move the 0 down, they have to put a 0 to represent that 8 cannot go into 1 at all. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the 0 down now. 8 goes into 10 one time. 2. Now, this is where I add my decimal, because again, when you add that decimal, you can add as many zeros over there as you want. I'm going to drop down that. 8 goes into 20 twice. And we're running out of space, but the answer should be 201.25. That's written very poorly, so I will write it over here. 201.25 calories come from fat.